Hey, welcome back, everybody. Now it's time to talk to Dan Smith about a little more activity with Vail Mountain Rescue. We found out they have their big fundraiser coming up on Thursday. Now let's talk about missions. You've had some,
the usual.
You've had a plethora of interesting missions over the past week. Some unfortunate, some turned out fine.
We had an ATV Crash, which I think Shane talked about last week. That was up on last Sunday week, up on Shrine Ridge, and it was a guided ATV tour, and somebody died, which says that even with a guide, a lot of motorized things are dangerous, whether they're snow machines or ATVs. And there's places, I mean, if you turn your front tire and it doesn't grab and you go over the edge, well, bad things are going to happen to you.
And the ground is really dry.
Oh, and you're on ball bearing gravel. You're just going to slide. Yeah. And especially you put children on things like this, they go, it just doesn't work out well.
And then the way you react, sometimes you don't think about what's happening with that throttle. And
no.
You may punch the throttle by accident, and then you just keep going.
If you're a mountain biker, when you need to stop, you squeeze both hands.
Yeah.
You don't squeeze both hands on an ATV or a snow machine. The throttle is there, and it's a natural reaction, and people don't understand it. But we also had we always have the humorous missions. They're usually around water. We had an abandoned party barge, an inflatable. Think pontoons on Lake Mead, an inflatable version of that. That apparently...
Not standing, though. You
no,
don't stand on it, you sit.
You sit, or I assume you have to stand a little bit. I don't know. It was not in a condition one could judge.
I got to see photos of that one at some point.
Yeah. It was not in a condition one could judge what you do on it. But it's been sitting in the river all night and was just noticed in around noon because nobody was down near rodeo. And why didn't whoever boat that was just make a phone call?
Well, because
it can be to 911, it can be to the back door of dispatch, but just tell us, our boat's stuck, I don't want it anymore, and nobody's hurt.
Well, because you hear about it, you get there, and you're like, okay, let's assess the situation. There is an empty water vessel. Are there people trapped? Exactly. You don't know any of that. It's like finding a kayak floating down the river. Where's the body that went with the kayak?
And we don't know if anybody's under it. We also don't know if anybody's 500 yards downstream hung up in a brush pile.
Yeah.
Let us know. You're going to save fire a lot of time. You're going to save us a lot of time. Now, you don't pay us. We never charge. But fire's spending hard dollars to go out and respond to these calls. Yeah. If we don't get it out of the river, what's going to happen? We're going to get phone calls from now till the cows come home. And that just eats more time, so we have to get it out of the river. This one, I'll just say removed with prejudice. Let's leave it that way. It came out in hunks.
Probably sitting in a dumpster now.
Yes, it is.
Right?
It's very comfortable in a dumpster.
Was it
near
deflated?
you.
Was it all beat up?
No, it was full of water. Water had gotten into the tubes, so it was just very, very hard to get out. But, call us. Tell us when you dump your boat. And if you're going to walk away from it, which is probably not the nicest thing to do in the world, let us know that too, so that we can take it to an appropriate receptacle.
Well, then you can react immediately and not have to be concerned about if there's bodies or people or pets or anything else. It's just an empty boat.
All EMS people, we try and control our rate of response, but there's a tendency to go faster when somebody could be in danger and go slower when they're not. Slow is much safer. We like slow.
Give me some of that. Nice to see you. I love chatting with you.
It was a pleasure.
All right, Dan Smith, Vail Mountain Rescue, their big event coming up this Thursday at the Westin. All right, we have more coming up on the show. I got to look at that weather forecast next.